card.
Yeah. Well,
But
and
it's
with
all about the money.
yeah, and with Kevin O'Leary involved in it, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I'm sure we could look on the back end of this, of the systems to see how much money Kevin O'Leary still has in this or doesn't have in this. I would be really curious to know how much he's pulled out already at this point. Welcome to another edition of Psychedelic Sages, where we provide intuitive insights, truth bust, and service watchdogs and guides for topics around spiritual medicines, more commonly referred to as psychedelics. Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Psychedelic Sages. I'm Beth Bell.
I'm Stephanie Salt.
And on this episode, we're going to talk about MindMed. It's a company we've been following. We've had several episodes recorded about MindMed, and they've seen some real ups and they've seen some real downs. And now there's more speculation about where they're really headed in the marketplace. There was a press release that came out we're going to talk about, and then we'll take a look energetically at what is the trajectory of this company, and are they positioning themselves for strength or are they crumbling? So let's take a look at the press release. Okay, so MindMed shelves 18MC development program. According to Psychedelic Alpha, MindMed is shutting down its 18MC-MM110 program in response to FDA's requiring further preclinical data in order to proceed to phase 2A. MindMed has mothballed its potential opioid use disorder treatment. Company will focus on MM120, which is LSD, and an MDMA product, and MM110 will take a back seat. They will not proceed with phase 2A trial. Money and resources are the issue. The rest of the pipeline will also be slashed, with resources redistributed to bolster MM120 and MM402. A major pruning of companies' drug development pipeline is underway. The emphasis is very much on a cost-effective approach. Barrow the CEO, described it as a lean and efficient team. Plan to cut cash burn from around 45 million to 25 million a year. This was further elaborated on their second quarter financial results, which we could go to in a minute. But before we do, let's come back to this. And what are your thoughts on this new press release and their weaning down of molecules?
It doesn't surprise me because look at their share price has just taken a real bath. They've really gone on a decline, so they had to do something.
Yeah.
And this is probably a very smart and effective move on their part. And they had to pivot quickly because they were really going down fast. So I think it's probably an efficiency step. And just focus on the products that could probably hit the market quicker so they can start getting some revenue.
Yeah. Well, and LSD was always one of their key molecules that they were studying. And so, yeah, I think their pruning down makes sense. And they have burned through a lot of cash. I mean, if they're at 45 million a year and they're, going down to 25, they did big raises, but I can see how this is going to help them a lot. But I'm curious what the cards might say specific to their future and whether the LSD molecule is actually going to be strong enough for them, to really take and build that foundation of the company so that they can be sustainable over time, or if they're going to get bought out by someone else.
Yeah, they're primed for buyout, in my opinion. And I know I shouldn't say that without looking at it energetically, but I'm sort of feeling that they are.
Yeah.
They need a big cash investor to come in and do, I think, the MDMA clinical trials. They need the money. So we'll see. But I suspect, as I said before, there will be a merger and acquisition frenzy in this sector very, very shortly between now and February.
Here's what's coming to me. Let's do 3 different cards. Let's do one card on the LSD. Let's do another card on MDMA, because while MDMA is a phenomenal product, it's been around for a while, and it's going to most likely get approval in 2023 based on all the work that MAPS is doing in their clinical trials, because their phase 3 data is out. So, from a purely, patentability standpoint, I don't know exactly what that's going to get them. So let's do LSD, MDMA, and then the third, the buyout potential. And then
Okay,
order if the card
let's do.
I thought. LSD. Go over to your right. Kind of in the middle, actually. Nope. Right there, right in there, but to your right, right there. Stop right there. Yep, that's it.
This is the three of wands or rods card. This is a really great and auspicious card. This is looking to the future. This is waiting for the ship to come in. So I think they made a very astute decision. I think this is the right decision for them at this particular time. But it's focused on the future. It's focused on what um what substances would probably have the greatest return right now?
Yeah.
What makes more market sense? And I think this is what they came up with to stop the hemorrhage
Yeah.
of cash. So I think it's a good energetic move. It makes total sense in the market. I don't know if the share price will recover because of that, but I still believe they are in line for a major takeover.
Yeah. Okay. All right, but that we'll pull that card in the third card. So okay, so that gives us some idea about LSD, and it looks like that's still on track, and the trajectory will help them with their foundation or the acquisition of. So
Definitely.
let's go on to MDMA then.
MDMA. Let's see. Okay, Beth. MDMA.
Okay, on your left, this one's going to be a little bit hard to tell you. Keep going up. It's like up, right there. Right there. Nope.
Here?
Right there. Yep. That's it.
Mm.
Okay, tell us about
I
that.
love this. This is the card of truth.
What is the name of the card?
Oh, sorry. This is the Ace of Swords. It's the card of truth. Truth from the multi-dimensional information sources. They've gotten some truth about their path of what they need to do, retain, and what they need to cut. So the fact that they have made the decision now, I think it's really smart. You know, some companies will just mess around, and then all of a sudden
Right.
they don't have a pivot, they don't have a move.
But what
So
does it specifically mean to MDMA?
I think I think there is some truth that was revealed about MDMA. I
would
don't know
think
what
that
they.
they're riding off the coattails. They want to ride off the coattails of MAPS and the
Yes.
FDA proving. I mean, it's the lowest hanging fruit. I admittedly I don't
Yes.
know right now off the top. I don't recall the difference of it, like what specifically, it will be in comparison to what MAPS is studying. So hopefully there's some intellectual property there that can make it just a little bit better. So I would think that they're going to be able to ride off of what's already happening with the phase 3 data in the FDA.
Yes, this is data. These are facts. This is a factual decision. It's not something that they just said and went and meditated on.
No.
Well, maybe not, but they looked at data, I think, and made an intellectual decision. They used power of analytics to figure out what the next steps was. And I think this is the right move for them. They had to cut something. They had to make some hard decisions. And I think this is the right one.
Okay.
Hard. And I also believe there will be layoffs as well. They're going to cut staff.
I assume that they've already laid off a lot of people. If you're going from 45 million to 25 million and you're cutting off the research arm, you're going to lay off all of those people. So I'm sure that already happened. We just haven't dug deep enough to read about that. Okay, well,
that's definitely in the cards.
Well, and just, we're already preempting this, but you do that kind of a slash in half when you're looking to be acquired. You want to make yourself look as efficient as possible. That is the whole point before going into some kind of a discussion for, an acquisition. So let's see. I mean, I don't think that they're in a position to be buying out anyone else to bolster their portfolio. But yeah, I'm sure there's probably big pharma that they're in conversation with that could easily snap them up.
Absolutely.
Okay, well,
That's what I think is going to happen to mine. And I think it's going to be very quickly.
yeah, I think so too. Let's pull a card on that.
Okay, let's look at what's going to happen with MindMed. I think they're a great merger, acquisition, takeover target at the moment, and at a good price.
Well, their stock is super low, so if they get
Yeah.
taken over, they're, I don't know what that'll mean to anyone who buys in now. If they get taken over, they usually agree on a certain price that moves with them. But okay, so all right, it's to your right, and right there, to your right, right there. Yep, that one.
Oh, interesting. Yep.
You got to
This
tell
is
us
the
the name of
king
the
of
card. Yep, go ahead.
this is the king of pentacles. This is the card of the financial master on
Okay.
the in the 3D. So someone is absolutely looking to acquire them. I really feel like they're being positioned by their investment bankers for a takeover. Within their staffing, everything is going towards that. But somebody is looking at the money making potential of this company. How can we make this work? What resources do we need to add on to them?
Yeah.
But definitely, there is someone interested in positioning them and acquiring them. That's my
Yeah.
feel card.
Yeah. Well,
But
and
it's
with
all about the money.
yeah, and with Kevin O'Leary involved in it, it's all about the money.
Yeah.
I just am curious. I'm sure we could look on the back end of this, of the systems to see how much money Kevin O'Leary still has in this or doesn't have in this. I would be really curious to know how much he's pulled out already at this point. You know what? Can we pull one more card just real quick on Kevin O'Leary and see what
Sure.
his role might be in this?
Oh, absolutely. But there are money people looking at the company. I think they're crunching the numbers to figuring out what to do. But I also feel that it's inside management as well
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
working on that potential. Okay, Kevin O'Leary. What's Kevin's role here? Okay, Beth, where?
Oh, it's to the right. You're right. Yep, right. To your left. Actually, okay. You know what? My first hit, I'll tell you honestly, was all the way to the right, the card on the right, on the very far right. Yeah.
This card?
Yeah.
It's the same card.
Oh, you just put it in on the end. Oh, well then
No, but I
oh,
shuffled it. It's pulled the same card. So this is Kevin O'Leary, or a Kevin O'Leary energetic look-alike.
wait, did you really shuffle the cards?
I really did.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know.
Because that
I
was the first one
shuffled
that
them, but
came. And then I thought in my mind, I'm not going to tell her the end one because maybe that's the one she just put in there. And then I thought,
no, I
no,
shuffled them.
just your finger went to it. I'm like, it is that card. Yeah.
It's him. Very interesting. But the card, this is what I like the cards. People say, oh, it's all random, but its energy is always flowing. And when you pull duplicate cards, you know that. And I've done it like picked a card, shuffle them, and literally pull the same cards for 3 days or however long. But it's just saying and confirming that there is money men behind this
Yeah.
whole thing that are looking to reap benefits, financial benefits from the company
Okay.
by owning it at a very, very low price, gobbling up the shares, and then boosting the company later on with.
Yeah. So it's a good time to potentially go in and buy at this low price.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's also a good time. We talked briefly about options and warrants and puts and calls, but it's also be interesting to place your bets in that arena as to what you think the company might do. Be interesting to take that approach to
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
Right.
While we're doing this, I got to take one quick look at at their stock price. Hang on.
I also get the feeling that the board is very much involved. It could be the chairman of the board or
Hold on.
someone on the board is very much involved with the mandate that Kevin O'Leary has given the company.
Okay. Okay. We're assuming that he's given a mandate to the company. So, okay. So we can see here that they had dipped down quite low here, and now they're at 68 cents a share. This is MindMed. So, yeah, we can see that after their plummet, they went down and continue to go down, but they're holding now at around 68 cents a share. So that's interesting.
Yes, I think the last time we looked at it was 77 cents a share. I think that was last week or so, maybe.
I don't remember exactly either, but
Yeah, but they're continuing to slide. So yes, they've got to make major shifts and changes, and I think that's what they're doing. But I still believe
yeah.
they are an acquisition target, and Kevin will get his money back. I really do believe that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay. All right. Well, that was a good one.
That
So,
was a great one.
okay. Stay tuned for more readings and more episodes where we talk about the medicines that are on the market for psychedelics, soon to come to market, or at least we hope in 2023. That's our prediction. That's the FDA's sort of trajectory. So stay tuned for more information. Thanks for tuning in to this episode. You can get more in-depth information on our Patreon site, Psychedelic Sages.